Welcome to Chapter 0 of The Coolness Chronicles, a pop culture retrospective from a weird perspective. I am your host, Ryan Rodriguez, unknown writer, director, and dreamer. I've spent 32 years trying to manage my bipolar manic depression and Asperger's syndrome, and 23 years writing television and film that will most likely never be produced. Since I became even slightly cognizant of my own issues, I ended up gravitating towards sifting through the minutiae of pop culture, primarily film, television, and literature, as a coping mechanism. There's something about these mediums that can help me calm my inner monologue of self-hate and doubt, but also help me keep myself from falling to pieces. Not always, but frequently. I don't have many friends that I can talk to face-to-face, so I decided to write down everything that I had to say about anything that I care about, often related to my own history, record it into a microphone, and broadcast it to strangers instead. It's basically an unsolicited autobiography masquerading as a podcast. But it's also a time-traveling adventure through pop culture history, and you can join in with nothing but just a pair of headphones or even some decent speakers. We're going to discuss everything I deem worthy of mention and occasionally get into some strange territory. You may be exposed to things you never knew existed, and they may even change your life. Change not guaranteed. This is a podcast that pays tribute to, in the words of Homer Simpson,
the terrifying lows, the dizzying highs, the creamy middles.
The show will be broken up into seasons consisting of multiple chapters. Each season takes a singular subject or body of work and uses it as a springboard to talk about anything tangentially related inside my warped mind, allowing me to put every subject into a larger context. The first season is all about the history and legacy of Mystery Science Theater 3000, but once that topic is through, we'll discuss everything from Airplane to the multiverse and beyond. An earnest warning. Every episode of this program will make frequent stops and starts. I feel that in order to give my subjects their proper context, I also need to tackle their various origins, and there's no organic way to do that, so I'm just going to have to sidebar for a minute or two before getting back to the subject at hand. Every episode contains spoilers and occasionally some speculation, because I am in no means an expert. However, every featured subject, large and small, will be listed in the chapter notes, so if there's something that you haven't seen or read that I'm going to talk about or ruin, at least you'll have a heads up. I have a simple but concise personal philosophy. Do what you love, and don't be a dick. And in order to honor that philosophy, I'm doing my best to limit discussion about things that I hate. There's already enough hate out there in the universe, especially in the age of toxic fandom, and you can rest assured that as long as I'm producing this show, the major focus will be centered around things that I genuinely love. That said, in order to give a proper context to the subjects of my affection, it's necessary to travel down some avenues of anger and hate, but I try to keep those segments light and fluffy. It's not just me spitting invective into a microphone. And lastly, I have to reiterate the beginning of this prologue. I've been chronicling my relationship with art since I was 9 years old. I'm 32 now. The things I'm going to say about my subjects are occasionally deeply personal, possibly annoying, and certainly esoteric. They may even be confessional at times, but not in a gross way. I apologize in advance. But if you enjoy this program, tell your friends. But don't tell them about that whole annoying business. If you like what you hear, do the right thing and rate and review the show on iTunes or the source of your choice. Visit us at facebook.com/thecoolnesschronicles and Twitter at coolnesspodryan, or send an email via our website, www.coolnesschronicles.com. Feel free to send recommendations for possible future subjects and segments. I take those recommendations very seriously, so don't be a stranger. That's all I have for my introduction. Click play on the first chapter and let the journey begin.